Welcome to Shots of Victory. I'm Rocky, and Blake's not here this week, so I'll be covering for this week. So, this week we got Raw, NXT, SmackDown, NFL news, wrestling news, March Madness updates, and NBA team records so far. And so we'll start out with Raw, where we start out with a John Cena promo about how terrible the audience is and how that once he wins the title, he'll never give it back. And they'll be stuck with a toy replica championship. So, yeah, Cena cutting a good promo as always. Cody Rhodes then comes out, says Cena isn't taking the title from him at WrestleMania. And he's looking for a fight, but Cena just walks off, not giving him the fight he wants. So, yeah, I think this feud's needs something really good here, like near the end, because there hasn't been really good confrontation between them. It's mainly been just like John Cena cooking on the microphone, and then Cody Rhodes comes out, and then John Cena leaves. So I feel like they need a good one-on-one before WrestleMania, since I'm guessing John's only going to make one more appearance before Mania, since he's only scheduled for one more, which is always bad. Next up, we got the Usos reuniting and beating A-Town Down Under. And after the match, Gunther tries to attack them, but Jay slips on a spear. Gunther starts attacking him, and Jimmy comes in and saves Jay with a chair. So yeah, looks like Gunther. I don't know why they're trying to make Jay the botch man now. Like, he botched a spear, and because they're trying to do that after Jay missed on a dive, which doesn't make sense, honestly. Then in the Judgment Day Clubhouse, we get Liv talk about how she they want Penta to join, and then Raquel winning the IC title, but like Finn's against it, basically Penta joining. Then we see Chad Gable sick with a cold and has a doctor's note, so Dragon Lee will have to fight El Grande Americano instead, which definitely not Chad Gable. Of course it's not Chad Gable. It's El Grande Americano, not Chad Gable. Then Lyra Valkyria retains the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Raquel Rodriguez. Then after the match, Raquel and Liv try to attack Bayley. Try to attack Lyra, and Bayley comes out and saves Lyra. Then commentary informs us that Earthquake and Tugboat of Natural Disasters will join the Hall of Fame class this year. So that's always exciting to hear. Then Jimmy Uso gives Jey Uso a pep talk backstage, and finds Gunther backstage and challenges him for a match next week. Gunther accepts, and Jimmy hits him with a slap. So, looks like we'll get some pretty good build-up. Honestly, I feel what could save the Jey versus Gunther feud is if Gunther pulverizes Jimmy, beyond, if he just attacks him, and Jay can't do anything. That would be best for the feud. Best thing that could happen for the feud. Then we get Bianca, Io, and Rhea promo where it's announced Rhea versus Io for the title next week. Then all three of them start brawling, and Bianca comes out on top. And Dominic Mysterio tries to convince Penta backstage that he should join the Judgment Day, and they would help him win the IC Championship. Then Adam Pearce backstage lets Bianca Belair know that she will be the special guest referee for Io versus Rhea for the title next week, which that will probably be the reason why it's a triple threat Mania, since it doesn't make sense for one of them to miss it. Then El Grande Americano beats Dragon Lee after pulling off his mask and then locking him in an ankle lock, so he had to tap to hide his face. Then a CM Punk promo about how there will be a contract signing on SmackDown and how he's better than Roman and Seth. So this was just an announcement for an announcement. I hate when Raw does that. It just makes it so annoying. They did it last week with Seth Rollins for no reason. So yeah, I really hope that the contract signing makes up for it. We get a Logan Paul Instagram promo where he calls out AJ Styles for next week's Raw in London at the O2 Arena, which I feel like it'll be a good promo between them because AJ's good on the mic and Logan's good on the mic. Then we get Braun Breaker versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship, where it ends in DQ as Dom gets involved and attacks Braun. Then Dom tries to recruit Penta into the group by giving him a chair and telling him to beat down Braun, but he declines and hits Dom with it instead. Then Finn beats both Penta and Braun down and taunts over them while the show ends. So it looks like Finn Balor stands tall for once. And thank goodness, because it's been a while since he's actually been tall for once. Because since September of 2023, he has two singles wins, including house shows. That is insane. His 2 wins are against Dragon Lee and AJ Styles. His AJ Styles win was September 15th. Then his Dragon Lee win was... No, it was... AJ Styles was September 15th, 2023. Then his Dragon Lee win was June 3rd of 2024. So he hasn't won a match in about 10 months. A singles match in 10 months. That is insane. He is way better than that. He needs to be winning way more singles matches than that. So now we'll go on to NXT, where Stephanie Vacher retains the NXT Women's title against Jada Parker. And then after the match, Fatal Influence attacks Stephanie to try to weaken her before Fallon's match against her in the main event. Then Trick Williams is backstage. He tells Javon that the only reason he was able to drop Oba last week was because he was distracted by him, and that Javon will never know what it feels like to be a champion. Then Vic Joseph's sit-down interview with Ricky Starks is interrupted by Sean Spears, who talks trash to Ricky. Then, so that looks like it might be the feud for NXT Stand and Deliver for Ricky Saints. Then we get Tyreek Igwe and Tyson DuPont beating Hank and Tank, which it was an okay match. Then Fraxium backstage, where Frazier is mad at Axiom for not telling him about his match against Gunther on SmackDown the week previous, and Axiom makes an excuse to escape while Frazier's distracted. So they keep hinting at a breakup, which is probably not going to happen, but it's always good to see that they're still dropping hints at it. Lexis King retains his Heritage Cup against Javon after Oba attacked Javon while the ref wasn't looking. Then Trick Williams comes out, aims for Oba with a trick shot, but nails Javon with it. And then Darkseid's watching from the crowd as Trick and Oba stare down each other. I don't know why Darkseid keeps just staring down from the crowd. It's really awkward and drives their characters weird. Then we get Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley beating the Metaphor Girls with a cool finisher, while Sol Ruka and Zarya watch. The D'Angelo family vignette where he wants to know about Darkseid and like everything about him. Then Channing Stacks Lorenzo tells Tony that he could trust him from now on, and Tony says, "Yeah, of course I can. Why wouldn't I?" So I feel like Stacks is gonna turn on Tony soon. I feel like that's what this is leading to. Then Motor City Machine Guns give Hank and Take a pep talk backstage on how to be a great tag team like them. So that's always inspiring to see a veteran tag team like that helping out rookies. And then Ethan Page beats Andre Chase while Ricky Saints was on commentary. Then Ricky Saints starts mouthing off at Ethan Page, and Sean Spears lays out Ricky Saints. So we could see Sean Spears versus Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints for the NXT North American Championship. That would be interesting. I would love to see that, honestly. A triple threat between those three? Yeah. Trick says that he didn't mean to hit Javon and that he was gunning for Oba. But that's what happens when Javon's in his way. Then he also says Darkseid isn't his business and that he's not a part of it, which means he's definitely a part of it. Then Stephanie Vacher retains the Women's North American Championship against Fallon Henley. Then Fatal Influence attacks her after the match. Jordan Grace then makes the save for her. Then Jada Parker tries to sneak up on Jordynne Grace, but Jordynne Grace lays her out. And then we see all the women of NXT arguing backstage on who deserves a shot at Stephanie Vacher next. So, yeah, that was NXT. Now on to SmackDown. We got Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton promo, interrupted by Drew McIntyre. Then Drew McIntyre's talking smack about Randy Orton, and a brawl between Randy and Drew occurs, where Randy goes for the RKO, but Drew gets out of the ring before it happens, and it's made for an official match tonight. The Street Profits then retain the WWE Tag Team Championships against the Hometown Heroes. Pretty deadly. So it was like a good match like always. Street Profits and the Pretty Deadly, of course, are going to put on a good match. Then we are informed that Bret Hart versus Stone Cold at WrestleMania 13 is being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025. I didn't know matches could be inducted, but yeah. The Secret Hervis beats KC2 with the help of Chelsea. Then Zelina Vega makes the save after the match. Braun Strowman versus LA Knight for the United States title ends in DQ as Jacob Fatu attacks them both. So yeah, it looks like it might be a triple threat at Mania between those three, which is always interesting to see. Jimmy Uso talks about how Jay is going to win. Melo don't make fun of him backstage, and Jimmy then fakes slapping Miz, and Miz reacts like he's a wimp, and Jimmy laughs at him, so it's a match for tonight between those two. Then Solo Sikoa is mad about what Jacob did, but Jacob says that he will be a U.S. champion with or without him and Tama Tonga. So Jacob Fatu could be splitting from Solo very soon, it looks like. Naomi promo backstage about how she was in the right when she attacked Jade Cargill, and how she only did it to help Bianca, as Jade was only a hindrance to Bianca, and how she sacrificed everything for Bianca there, and is now considered the bad guy. Yeah, I honestly love this Naomi. It's like kind of like what they did with Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre, which I love those two characters. So doing this in the women's division with Naomi, it's the perfect decision. With her acting abilities, it is one of the best decisions you can make with her. Then, Aleister Black hype promo, package teasing his return for a upcoming SmackDown, which after some research, it's the SmackDown after WrestleMania 41 because of some of the numbers that appeared during it. Then Michin is making her entrance, but Naomi attacks B-Fab, which is her friend, and it distracts her. And then Jade chases Naomi off. Then Charlotte versus Michin happens, and Michin's distracted during the whole thing, and Charlotte Flair beats Michin. Then Tiffany is on the Tron talking about her match against Charlotte, how losing means way more to Charlotte than her, because if she loses to Charlotte, it's just losing to a future Hall of Famer. But if Charlotte loses, it's losing it to an up-and-coming star that, by Charlotte's words, is a nobody. So if Charlotte loses, it's way more important, right? That's Tiffany's point, basically. Drew McIntyre beats Randy Orton with the distraction of Kevin Owens. Then Randy and KO brawl, but KO runs away through the crowd when Randy tries to hit the punt kick. And then we got a promo package of Rey Fenix, and it is confirmed that he will be on SmackDown next week. So that's always interesting to see him and Penta being on different brands. So maybe in the draft after WrestleMania, they'll be together and be the Lucha Bros. So then Jimmy Uso beats The Miz, and then after the match, he grabs a headset and talks about his match on Monday against Gunther, and how Jay's going to win against Gunther at WrestleMania. Then Damian Priest beats up Drew McIntyre backstage, where he puts McIntyre in a car's front windshield. It is said that Drew might have gotten glass into his eye, but WWE revealed that it was just something else and not glass. So Drew seems to be fine, and it shouldn't be a big injury. Then Roman, Punk, and Seth contract signing, where it is announced by Paul Heyman that will be the main event of WrestleMania Night 1. And Punk's very happy about this being his first WrestleMania main event ever. But then he tells Paul Heyman, that's not the favor I was asking for, and walks out as the show ends. So I wonder what his favor is going to be, because that's a pretty big favor that Paul just did for him, and it's not the one he wants. That's really interesting to me, honestly. I'm trying to think of what it could be, and the only thing I could think it could be is maybe whoever wins that match gets added into the the Cody versus Cena match, which I would love if we got Punk versus Cena versus Cody, or Seth versus Cody versus Cena, or Roman versus Cody versus Cena. Any of those matches would be great. So that match can be unpredictable by that. So now into WWE, AEW, and TNA news. Bo Dallas has officially been cleared, and a Wyatt Sixth return to WWE could be imminent soon, which is so exciting. I bet they'll wait till after WrestleMania to return in, though. Then Stardom's wrestler Mina Shirakwa announced that she will join AEW in April after her Stardom contract expires in March. Then Steph D. Lander's neck and surgery recovery has went well, and her return might be soon. Upcoming. And then plans are in place for Finn Balor versus Penta versus Braun Breaker versus Dominic Mysterio for the IC title at Mania, which I would love. I'm just sad that we're not going to get a ladder match for this, but we might get it for the SmackDown, so I'm happy with that as well. Saraya announced that she has departed from All Elite Wrestling and teases a WWE return. So that could be interesting, seeing her back in WWE after so long. And yeah, this could be a interesting time for Saraya. Wrestler Gail Kim and 7 backstage team members were released from TNA Wrestling, which is always sad to hear, so send some prayers out to those people. Stevie Turner has been announced as the general manager for WWE's show Evolve, which, congrats to her, because she was the co-general manager for NXT under Ava with Robert Stone. But now she has her own show to manage, which is always exciting. Then Swerve Strickland announced that he will retire from professional wrestling in 5 years. So in 2030, he will retire. So that's crazy. Cedric Alexander will have his first non-WWE match for United Pro Wrestling on May 10th. Always exciting to see people succeed after WWE careers, so good job on him. Rob Van Dam says he would like to manage Kalani Jordan sometime in the future, which would be cool, I guess. On to NFL news. Big news here. The Patriots have signed wide receiver Stefon Diggs to a 3-year, $69 million contract, so that's around $33 million per year. Huge contract for someone that's coming off an injury like that in his age. But congrats to him. The Buffalo Bills have rewarded second-year cornerback Christian Benford with a 4-year deal. I think it's $19 million per year, if I remember correctly. The New York Giants have signed quarterback Russell Wilson to a 1-year contract. I think it's $10 million, which isn't that much for a quarterback of his caliber, so congrats to them. Then Coach Deion Sanders received an extension with Colorado Buffaloes through 2029, so that's always exciting to hear when coaches get extended. Then Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua revealed that he plans to retire once he turns 30, which that's an early age to retire for a receiver, but good for him because he said he wants to do it so he can have a family. I think he said he wants 5 kids, which being there for them is a great thing for a father to do. So him retiring that early makes sense. Hunter Renfrow is looking to return to the NFL after 1 year off from the league and has met with the Raiders and the Patriots. I think it's Panthers. He's met with the Raiders and Panthers. The Buffalo Bills are now producing a movie called Holiday Touchdown, a Bills love story, in the partnership with Hallmark. So yeah, that'll be interesting. The Houston Texans have signed former Colts linebacker E.J. Speed on a 1-year deal. Packers offensive lineman Elton Jenkins is switching from left guard to center for the 2025 season after signing guard Aaron Banks in free agency. Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy is on stride in his injury recovery to debut in the NFL in Week 1 of this upcoming year, which is always exciting to hear for a quarterback. The Baltimore Ravens and head coach John Harbaugh agreed to a 3-year extension. So I think that'll keep him through with the team till 2028? Or maybe since the contract is still going, maybe I think it might be 2031. I don't remember though. But they added 3 years to his contract. Then Evan Ingram is set to be the first tight end to wear the number 1 in NFL history, as he will wear number 1 for the Broncos. Former NFL coach Frank Reich has been hired by Stanford University as their new head coach. The league is debating on moving the kickoff touchback line from the 30-yard line to the 35, forcing teams to try not kick it in the end zone and try to get more kick returns on plays, which is always a good thing to happen because I love to see a good kickoff return. And yeah, there's also been some push for the Packers' appeal to ban the tush push, which is a good thing because only the Eagles can pull it off. But I feel like if you can't pull it off, it's not really the Eagles' fault. The Tennessee Titans are still open to trading the first overall pick in the 2025 draft, but it will take a heavy load for them to trade it away. The Baltimore Ravens have signed cornerback Chidobe Awuzie to a 1-year contract. Wide receiver Josh Reynolds has signed with a 1-year contract with the New York Jets. Former Panthers tight end Ian Thomas has signed for 1 year with the Las Vegas Raiders. Titans wide receiver Treylon Burks might not be back for the start of the 25 season after a major injury in the 2024 season. The New England Patriots have released linebacker Jawan Bentley from the team. So now, on to basketball news. Okay, so getting back into the news, we got March Madness updates. So our projected Final Four before the tournament was Michigan versus Florida, Alabama versus Gonzaga. So we had one team right, as the actual Final Four was Auburn versus Florida. So Florida was our only team right, and Duke versus Houston. So our projected Final Four before the tournament was Florida over Gonzaga. But now, since we know the Final Four, we got Florida over Duke. So, hopefully that's right. Then we'll go on NBA team records so far. So we got the Cavs at 60-15, first in the East, and they have clinched the playoffs. The Pacers are 43-31, fourth in the East. Pistons are 42-33, fifth in the East. Got in a big fight with the Timberwolves on Sunday, where 7 people got ejected from the game. The Bucks are 40-44, sixth in the East. Have had a big drop off since Damian Lillard is now out for the season with a blood clot in one of his legs. The Bulls are 33-41, ninth in the East. The Celtics are 55-19, second in the East, and have clinched the playoffs. The Knicks are 47-27, third in the East, and have clinched the playoffs as well. And they have signed P.J. Tucker to a 2-year deal. The Raptors are 28-47, 11th in the East, and are still in the playoff contention. The Nets are 24-51, 12th in the East, and are eliminated from playoff contention. The 76ers are 23-52, 13th in the East, and are eliminated from playoff contention as well. The Hawks are 36-38, 7th in the East. The Trae Young has become a GM of, I can't remember which team, but he is gonna be helping that team out now. Magic are 36-39, 8th in the East. The Heat are 33-41, 10th in the East. The Hornets are 18-56, 14th in the East, and are eliminated from playoff contention. And LaMelo Ball is out for the rest of the season with an injury, and he got surgery for it. So prayers to him. The Wizards are 16-58, 15th in the East, and are eliminated from playoff contention. The Thunder are 62-12, first in the West, and are the only team in the West to have clinched a playoff spot. Then the Nuggets are 47-28, third in the West. Timberwolves are 43-32, 7th in the West. They got in that big fight with the Pistons on Sunday. Trailblazers 32-42, 12th in the West. The Jazz are officially the worst team with a 16-59 record, 15th in the West, and are eliminated from playoff contention, obviously. The Lakers are 45-29, and are 4th in the West, and have officially released Cam Reddish to sign Jordan Whitmore, I think is his name. Let me check if it's true. I know his name's Jordan. I think his first name's Jordan. Jordan. Let's see. Jordan Goodwin. His name is Jordan Goodwin. He has officially replaced Cam Reddish on the roster after the Lakers released him and signed Jordan Goodwin. So yeah, good for the Lakers there. So the Warriors are 43-31, 6th in the West. Jonathan Kuminga got hurt against the Spurs in their huge 30-point victory against them in I think it was the first quarter. So prayers up for him. While GP2 is out indefinitely with thumb injury. He got injured earlier in the week. The Clippers are 42-32, 8th in the West. Kings are 36-38, 10th in the West. The Suns are 35-40, 11th in the West. And KD is expected to be sidelined for at least 1 week, so that's basically the Suns season over with. The Rockets are 49-26, 2nd in the West, and are very close to clinching a playoff spot for their team. The Grizzlies are 44-30, 5th in the West, and have fired head coach Taylor Jenkins after 6 years. I have no idea why they did that, because he's been their most winning coach ever. So it doesn't make sense to fire that dude now, and before the season's even over, because you guys haven't even been underperforming. It's just been injuries that's been holding you back, because Ja's been hurt a lot, and he was gone for the entire season last year. So you guys didn't make the playoffs, but this year you're 5th in the West, which is still pretty good in the competitive West, and you're gonna fire your coach for that. That doesn't even make sense. But the new coach is now Tomas Isolo. I know I butchered that name, but now he is the new interim head coach for the Memphis Grizzlies. Then the Mavericks are 37-38, 9th in the West, and are back on track after a Anthony Davis return. The Spurs are 31-43, 13th in the West. Pelicans are 21-54, 14th in the West, and are eliminated from playoff contention. And my finals prediction is the Cavaliers over the Golden State Warriors. And Blake sent me his predictions for it. Let me find it. He's got the Lakers versus the Celtics. So that would be a fun matchup as well, but I don't honestly see it. I feel like the Lakers are really overrated. Am I missing anything? I don't think I am. So, let's see. Am I missing anything? I'm gonna check the NFL really quick. See if I'm missing anything. Jonathan Kaminsky has officially retired from the NFL after seasons with the Falcons and the Lions. The Browns owner admits that the Browns took a big swing and miss with Deshaun Watson, so that's always a good thing to see. Own up to your mistakes. And the Browns have met with quarterback Shadur Sanders, so they could easily be looking to replace Deshaun Watson this draft. So their only other quarterback, I think, is Kenny Pickett after the trade was trading Dorian Thompson-Robinson to the Eagles. So that's going to be it for this episode. So I'll see you guys next time. And next time, Blake should be here, and we should have Raw, NXT, SmackDown, wrestling news, NFL news, March Madness finales, NBA team records, and maybe some stuff to do with WrestleMania and other wrestling news. So I hope you have a great week, and I might be releasing another long-form content. So look out for that in the future. and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.